In a world that is full of stories about empowerment of women, a different type of women resides in our midst. Even as women strive to conquer one male citadel or the other, border Indian states like Andhra Pradesh and Orissa have contrasting tales to tell. Women, most of them tribals, enjoy a unique social status which the more conservative visionaries may not have come across in their lifetime. Bonda women have empowerment of a rare kind. On that count, they can be taken as the perfect parameter to decide upon the status of women in the great gender war of one-upmanship. Often, they are the ultimate decision makers within the family. This is made possible as they have a greater participation than men in day-to-day economic activities. These stem from deeply rooted Bonda cultural practices and customs. However, the uniqueness is not something one could be proud to flaunt around. On the contrary, the overly dependence on women tells the tale of hardship, poverty, hours of toil, and handling economic issues that even the men of the family would scorn at. Take the peculiar case of Lakshma Mudali, a resident of Dhummipara village in Bonda Hill on Malkangiri. Malkangiri district, formed in 1992, is bound by plains and hills and borders both Andhra Pradesh and the Dandakaranya region of Chhattisgarh. The district is divided into two distinct physical divisions. The eastern part is covered with steep ghats, plateaus, and valleys, sparsely inhabited by primitive tribes. Notable among them are the Bondas, Koyas, Porajas, and Didais. Bonda Hills is almost well noted as the living place of the Bonda community. The rest of the district is comparatively flat plain, broken by a number of rocky wooded hills. Almost the whole of the district is a vast dense jungle. Poteru, Saberi, Sileru, Kolab, and Machakunda are the main rivers flowing in the district. The Bonda tribal women are hardworking, and Lachma Mudale is one among them. As a part of the regimen, she wakes up with the first rays of the sun. Soon thereafter, it is kitchen work that greets her, even as the men are lost in deep slumber. The early morning activity in the small hutment does not even bother them. The food is ready even as she gears up to take on the world for another day of sweat and toil. Amidst the daily drill, Bonda women remain careful about their attire. They do not like to break the tradition. The traditions are steeped in mysterious beliefs and customs. They believe that a woman is not dressed traditionally, her family may suffer serious mishaps, resulting in the death of a dear member. Bonda women are not semi-nude owing to their poor economic condition. Rather, they dress this way as it's a part of their tradition and a way of life. According to Sita Kunda, Sita cursed them and ordered them to dress in this manner for the discourtesy shown towards her. It's believed that Sita, along with Lord Rama, took shelter in the Bonda country for a few days. One day, when she was bathing completely naked in a perennial stream at the bottom of Mudalipara hill, a group of Bonda women wearing leaf cloths happened to pass by. Seeing Sita naked, they laughed at her. Insulted, Sita cursed them to live nude and shaven-headed forever. She decreed that any attempt by them to deviate from this attire would bring disaster to the family in terms of crop failure, destruction of the village, loss of animal herds, and death of family members from predators. Lakshma Mudile, who has a son and a daughter, informs that once she completes the domestic chores, she goes deep into the forest to pick up dry sticks for cooking purposes. She also brings home vegetables, fruits like jackfruit, bananas, and those that ripen during the respective season. The 10 to 12-kilometer trek tires her, but she has no other option. She has to take care of the livelihood and run the show day in and day out. This is irrespective of the season, scorching sun, or, for that matter, rains that batter cats and dogs. She has to bear the brunt in the absence of shelters for long stretches. But that is how the life has been down the ages. In an unwritten understanding, a Bonda woman takes on the responsibility to support her husband during the first half of her life. In turn, her husband is supposed to provide food for her during her old age. A Bonda marriage and family are based on this peculiar but prevailing arrangement. As a result, a woman of about 25 generally marries a boy of 10, usually maintaining an age gap of around 15 years. If a boy remains unmarried at the age of 13 to 14 years, he is considered too old for marriage. A woman acts as a guardian of her husband in the initial stages and takes responsibility for bringing him up on her own. Bonda women understand some of the reasons why the men are aggressive and ill-tempered. Therefore, they are careful and try to tone down the aggression of men during conflicts and inter-village skirmishes. In their society, very often inter- and intra-village conflicts do occur. Whenever there is such a struggle, the males rush to fight the enemy with deadly weapons. The women immediately follow them with their axes to fight alongside them. More importantly, they enter the battleground to save their husbands from getting killed by the enemy. In order to avoid getting hurt, the women adopt a tactical self-defense mechanism by wearing a handful of bangles made of aluminum on either arm, besides a bunch of neck rings of the same material. The bangles in the neck rings are believed to have magical powers and underline religious and economic significance.
Amu yamu itu ya gati nazar. Kya nata? Kena ning tu kunung kena ning. Ozar tangkan deng bota.
Ozar tangan mana ning diu kena kisah mana. Ozar tangan be ning kena.
Kena ozar tangkan ay. Kena 2000 na tu giting ke.
Ken ba
Ken bar banin tu giting ke aram. Kena u.
Ken sui tangan diu kena.
Kena tala ba budi na ken tangkana.
Nakana.
Kon gulai 8 बस से पे मा गुत्तो पे
नहीं सुत नहीं मैं सुता सुबह बुंता क्या रे
Bonda men are not trained from childhood to earn their livelihood. On the other hand, a girl is socialized under guidance from her parents to earn her daily bread for herself and her family. Adult women are well acquainted with hard labor. The men have a field day in their childhood. They spend most of their time consuming sago palm juice in the mornings. Even today, the Bonda community considers sago palm juice as milk and feeds it to the infants, especially the males. Most pregnant women consume it as a nutritious drink.
matli sabi wi kunang nang do hiram giri wi kunang nang bairam pada wi kunang nang sapagari wi kunang nang do.
Although festivities are celebrated throughout the year, one specific festival called Patkandayatra at Mudalipada is celebrated with gusto in January. The Bondas worship a sword on the occasion, inspired by the belief that the sword belongs to the Pandavas.